Quite right. South African wine producer organisation Vinpro is disappointed with the Cape High Court's ruling yesterday. It took Vinpro, or government to court rather, for its approach to restrictions on the liquor trade. Now, with me this evening, Vinpro's Managing Director, Rico Basson. He joins us now. Rico, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. So you went to the High Court to basically argue that national government does not have the jurisdiction to put forward these lockdown liquor bans. You said it lies with the provincial government. They didn't agree with you. This might be a setback in the fight against liquor bans.
Well, good evening. We actually went to court in January last year on an urgent basis with three arguments. Number one, we thought that the view that National Command Council take is wrong, that it is a holistic view and not a differentiated one. Number two, we questioned the empirical data used. So to cut a long story short, yes, we are disappointed ultimately with the High Court ruling, which really doesn't provide us any clarity to either party in terms of how these blunt instruments can be overcome, in terms of dealing with lockdowns, how a more nimble approach can happen. And let me just explain what we've seen with these waves. It differs vastly between Gauteng and Western Cape or Eastern Cape and the others. And we just believe that a balance between national versus provincial will make a difference. And then our frustrations is obviously that the court unilaterally postponed dates, which meant when we got to court, the restrictions of the regulations has lapsed, which made the whole case moot. So, yes, we're frustrated and disappointed for those two elements.
Does this ruling set some sort of a precedent? I mean, the reason I'm asking is because we potentially could see more restrictions. We're still hearing from government and the National Command Council on that one. Does it put you in a dead end now, this ruling, when you're approaching this matter further?
Well, I don't think so, because we stay in the dialogue with government, and we, as an industry, which is an agricultural-based industry, we deal with 10 different national departments. So notwithstanding the court case where we argued some of the principles, we continuously, day to day, are in touch with government, and we're working together on a number of elements, specifically harm reduction, etc. So I think our whole call is, why can't we partner? Why can't we collectively make a decision on hospital data, on real levels of oxygen, have a targeted approach as partners towards real hotspots? And I think that, in essence, is not only a Vinpro view. Obviously, my members are the smaller operators in terms of wineries, but it's also a collective approach which is frustrating. So I don't think it's a dead end. I do hope that some of the principles will be part of the way forward on the dialogue.
You look at the numbers, they're quite staggering. 10 billion rand, your organisation says, have been lost in revenue with these wine producers who are affiliated to you. You've got job losses as well. I suppose that the picture might be a bleaker going forward if this is the case in terms of that ruling now. What's your take on it?
Well, I think we pre-warned government all along that 80% of these wineries, there are 530 wineries, they are highly dependent on tourism. You can just think what a travel ban does on reputation. We have seen an absolute knee-jerk on cancellations. These small wineries sell 40% of their product over the counter to a tourist. They've got hospitality. And I think the calling from our side is, let's have policy certainty. Let's work according to specific science and data. So you're quite right. The recovery for this industry will not only be long. I think there has been a big fallout, structural damage. One of the examples is we do not have enough glass at the moment to package wine, because Consul had to shut down a furnace because we couldn't manufacture in July last year. So we now be dealing with some of the symptoms, which as part of our recovery is frustrating.
All right, we'll leave it there. Vinpro's Managing Director, Rico Basson, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.